Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Gamer Guild podcast, your one-stop shop for all things in the wide world of video games. I'm your co-host, Cody Robertson.
And I'm your co-host, Noah Bowers. The Gamer Guild was right yet again, and we have potentially another Game of the Year contender here in 2025.
Another one. My goodness, it's a good year so far. We'll cover all this and more right here on the Gamer Guild podcast. Let's jump right into it. No guests this week. Not a lot of news, but I wanted you guys all to myself for my last show here. So let's get started with some of the new releases from the past 2 weeks. Oh, Noah, let's go after the big one, buddy. You ready for this?
A lot of them.
So here's what the Gamer Guild was right about. Not a big deal because most people were right about this. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered did shadow drop, like we said. Friday, April 24th. That doesn't sound right. I think it was the 21st, whatever that Monday was. It was that Monday, yeah. So, and actually people were kind of mad about that because we had to, people at work had to wait a whole work week for the weekend. I was like, why couldn't you do it on Friday? But anyway, it happened. It's awesome. I played it a little bit. It's on Xbox, PS5, and PC, all the next gen stuff. It is a $50 video game, Noah, not a $70 video game, and it's also on Game Pass, so there you go. It was developed by Virtuous and Bethesda. So Virtuous does a lot of support work for a whole bunch of games. They've worked on just a whole bunch of stuff. If you look at their website, they've got tons and tons and tons of credits. But this is probably going to really, really put them on the map, man, because this has been received very, very well. And Virtuous did a fantastic job. This is a very unique game right now because it uses a hybrid of two game engines. Yes. It uses Unreal Engine 5 for the graphics, which look incredible, by the way. So good. I don't know if you've played it. I played it a little bit. It looks so good. And it uses the Creation Engine, which is Bethesda's engine, for the game logic and the NPC movement, that kind of thing. And it's working really, really well. So basically what that means is all of the jank that we know from Elder Scrolls games that are pretty funny and memeable and stuff like that is all still in there. Even the voice acting's been reworked, but some of it that was kind of janky and weird has been kept in, because it's part of the experience, So you can tell Virtuous really put a lot of love into this remaster. Like I said, I'm playing it. I'm only 10 hours, so I just got out of the character creator. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a lot of fun. I played a tiny bit of Oblivion, the original. And, I played it after Skyrim, so I had that kind of Skyrim.
Preconceived notion.
Yeah, Skyrim's just a little more modern, so I was like, it's just a better experience these days, I think. But this kind of mitigates that a little bit by giving you those quality of life enhancements that we're kind of used to in gaming these days. They added a sprint function that wasn't there. They kind of updated the UI and the inventory just a little bit to make it a little more modern. Some of this stuff is still feels a little old, especially the NPC activities and stuff that they do. But that's kind of part of why people love Bethesda so much, because all the weird stuff that the NPCs do and say. So I love it a lot. What do you think so far, Noah?
I'm really impressed with it. I also saw they redid all the animation work. So it's all new original animations to kind of evolve what the original one was. So just super impressed with how well it runs, the graphic fidelity of it for how old of a game it is. I mean, this is a slam dunk from Bethesda, and they needed it. Yeah. I mean, they have been treading water for a little bit now. So excited to see that. Now, what does it say of Bethesda as a studio that their best release in a long time is a remaster of a game over 10 years old?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It says that maybe you guys should do Unreal Engine 5.
Maybe. Or maybe make good games again? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Now, Bethesda as a publisher has been rocking it, in my opinion.
100%.
All the games from Arcane have been phenomenal.
Machine Head games.
Yep.
So the Indiana Jones game. Wolfenstein, all those.
Doom's coming out.
Yep, new Doom games coming out.
Dark Ages, that's going to be a slam dunk as well. So their entire umbrella is still definitely successful. And they have been very, very good to the Xbox Game Pass platform and Xbox in general. But this is definitely, I think this should be a look in the mirror for Bethesda. Be see what is connecting with the audience with this release, see what is doing well and try and implement that, because I'll give them credit. They took a big swing with Starfield.
Yeah.
It was ambitious, and they went a different direction than what they normally do. Whereas instead of having like a specifically handcrafted world to explore and then make that world very big, they had like a huge world that's not really handcrafted, but it's just so much to explore, which just didn't really mesh well with a lot of the fan base and audiences out there. So, excited about this. Really, really excited about the price point, $50. Yeah. Really, really cool. My younger brother brought it on PS5. And it looks phenomenal on there.
Really glad it's on PS5 also, by the way. They could have made this an exclusive.
For sure.
Because Bethesda's owned by Microsoft. So they absolutely could have just put PC, Xbox, that's it. But no, they put it on PS5 as well, and I'm really glad.
Yeah, and I think Xbox has kind of been doing a pretty good job of making almost all their titles like cross-platform, if not at release, usually pretty soon after. Now, I haven't played enough of this to really give like a review of it just yet, and I've never played the original game.
Yeah, it's big.
This one I'm definitely saving. This is going to be my summer game. Yeah. I'm finishing up Avowed right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm about 75% of the way through. Like the main story, but I've been doing all the side quests and companion quests and things like that.
Nice.
I'm loving it.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
so good.
That's going to be an interesting jump going from a brand new RPG to a 20-year-old RPG.
Yeah, it is. Especially because like the Oblivion is way more in depth than Avowed is.
Yeah.
It's like a real RPG. Not that
no, it's I
not
get
that
you.
Avowed is a fake RPG. It's just a little bit more surface level.
It's hardcore.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting jump. But that's what's been taking up most of my time right now, except for one other game that we're also going to talk about here.
Oh, yeah,
that has also been taking up some of my playtime.
Awesome, and it's also $50.
It's true.
Look at that. We're going to talk about Claire Obscure Expedition 33, the game that Noah's been so dying to talk about this whole time. Oh my goodness! Even last podcast, you were like, "Oh, we got to talk about it," but it wasn't out yet. So
it wasn't out yet,
had to wait.
and I still wanted to talk about it.
So Claire Obscure Expedition 33 came out Friday, April 24th on Xbox, PS5, and PC. It's a $50 video game, like I said, not full price, so that's pretty good. It's also on Game Pass, so there you go. It is from a studio called Sandfall Interactive, and that is a studio made up of former creative leads from Ubisoft that were... The quote that they gave was they were concerned that the industry wasn't giving enough love to JRPGs and turn-based RPGs, and so that's kind of where Claire Obscure came into play here. It is reviewing extremely well. It's got a 92 on Metacritic so far. One of the I think it is the highest rated game in 2025 right now. Its voice acting is stacked. So let me just read off some of these names. Charlie Cox, Daredevil.
Banger.
Andy Serkis, which I didn't even know he was in that game.
He arguably the motion capture GOAT.
He's the king. Yeah, he's the king.
Founder.
Ben Starr, who, if you know video games, you probably know Ben Starr. He's been in everything.
So good. Jennifer
English, who plays Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
There you go. Those are just a few of them. And the production quality, from what I have heard and seen, is just incredible. But Noah, you've played it. So why don't you talk about it a little bit?
I have. And I'm only a little bit through. And just to kind of give you guys some background, this is probably my first modern turn-based RPG that's not like Baldur's Gate, which is more similar to like D&D. So
it's different.
I'm kind of used to that style, just playing D&D in real life. But this is more like a Final Fantasy or Metaphor ReFantazio, like turn-based combat RPG that also combines elements of like action RPGs with like perfect dodges, counterattacks, and parries as well involved in the combat system. I'm blown away.
Nice.
I'm blown away. And I already had high expectations for this game, as the previous episodes showed, because I saw this cast and I was like, that's a crazy cast.
Yeah.
The animations looked super crisp. The art style is just beautiful.
It's incredible.
I am seeing some like concerning like discourse though in gaming outlets out there where they're like, oh, this is good, but like Metaphor ReFantazio is not in terms of art style. And I don't think that should be where people are looking at, just because this is like photorealistic, which it's not. If you play the game, it's definitely very stylized.
Right.
It's just not animated.
You're right, exactly. It's not animated.
It's made to look somewhat realistic, but I mean, there's a giant person that paints on a monolith in the ocean. Like, it's not realistic at all. So it's definitely
very artistic.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The combat, phenomenal. The soundtrack, Beautiful.
I've heard good things about the soundtrack.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I cried at the prologue.
Wow, the prologue.
It was quick. It hit me quick. I was like, there's no way.
Wow.
No way they're going to make me care about this character.
That's what games do, man. Yeah.
It's so good. Charlie Cox is voicing the protagonist. Does a great job. I did meet Andy Serkis' character already, but I believe it's a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it exactly.
He's not playable. That's all I know. He's not like a playable character.
He is not.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Is Ben Starr's in the party, I think?
I believe so,
Yeah,
yes.
and then Jennifer English as well, I think, is a playable character in the party.
And talk about depth of the RPG mechanics, the way that you can manipulate this party system and really like min-max combat to a build that you want. Super, super enticing for RPG fans out there. It's a lot for me. I'm having to it's a big learning curve.
It's the big difference between like a CRPG and a JRPG is the party management system. This is what I talk about with Final Fantasy all the time. This is what Final Fantasy does so well. Well, it used to do so well. They don't really do it anymore. But it's all about the party management, man. It's all about having your team and like kind of your build is like your team, your party.
Right.
It's kind of the same way in Pokemon as well. It's just very simplified in Pokemon, which is why it was so successful. But yeah, this is kind of bringing people into that actual JRPG party management feel. And Metaphor kind of did the same thing, but I think it didn't jive so well with Western audiences because it had that Persona, that Atlas look, and people were like, oh, that's not quite as accessible, as something like Clair Obscur maybe. I think Clair Obscur had that draw of this is a really cool story and world, and you're going to be really interested in it.
For sure.
And I think something like Metaphor relied on the name Atlas a lot and just said, this is an Atlas game. You know what it is, And so I think Atlas fans just kind of went for it. And Metaphor sold really, really well. And it was rated really, really well.
Almost won Game of the Year.
Yeah, 100%. Clair Obscur is having this interesting draw that kind of Baldur's Gate had for CRPGs for JRPGs now. So it's really cool to see. Yeah.
I think the cast does add a little bit to it because people who know these names are definitely going to be like, oh, I want to check this out. I mean, this is definitely a stacked cast. Whereas Metaphor didn't have, recognizable names, I think, that were part of like the marketing campaign. Yeah. Like they had a whole like red carpet premiere. I don't know if you saw that.
No. Wow.
For like Clair Obscur. They had Andy Serkis like doing pictures and stuff like that. So like they definitely had a little bit of a marketing budget, which is interesting because it's
a new studio.
Almost like an indie studio. Right. Not really a lot of backing out there. So really, really impressive stuff for them. I think it's already over 1 million copies.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is. After 3 days, it was 1 million copies. Yeah. That's insane.
That's not including Game Pass numbers as well.
And it's on Game Pass. So like you said, people can just try it out because it's on Game Pass.
That's
so
what
if
I
you have Game Pass, you can just try it out. So it's awesome.
I might just purchase it though. This game is really, really good.
Not 70.
Yeah, I definitely cried at the prologue.
Nice.
It's good. The music just took it away.
How far are you in, you think?
I'm not even finished with Act 1 yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think there's 3 acts.
Gotcha.
And each one is like, there's a pretty significant change in the plot.
Oh,
I think that brings it on. So, highly recommend. You know what it gives me? Gives me big, I'm going to say it. This is a hot take. Big Epic Mickey vibes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the whole paint thing?
Yes.
Okay.
They use that imagery a lot in in the world building and things like that. And they did the same thing in Epic Mickey where like there's like paint dripping down or that's how like the things were created and things like that. And it would lead to like some weird amalgamations with the enemy types. Very, very similar stuff in there, which is interesting.
Wow.
That they kind of took similar design philosophies because like the paintress is like the main antagonist in there. Or is she?
You'll have to play to find out. Oh my goodness.
No, it's so good. Can't say enough good things about it. So glad that it was a smashing success. Yeah. Also want to say that I called it.
Yeah.
I called it.
Yeah, good job. Good call. What's kind of messed up though is, and actually now that I think about it, people thought it was messed up, but then it actually turned out to be okay. People were kind of mad that Oblivion Remastered came out right before Clair Obscur, but honestly, it didn't affect Clair Obscur at all.
I don't think it did.
Like, at all.
I think it's different audiences.
Yes, it is. And Clair Obscur is sold extremely well, like gangbusters. It was crazy how much they sold. So I don't think Oblivion was a factor in any way, honestly.
It's definitely my probably game of the year.
Wow, okay.
Pick so far.
Nice.
But there's a lot of good games coming out this year.
Yeah.
And a lot of good ones that have already released. Like Avowed would have been, I think.
Okay.
And depending how I finish Avowed, I might be like, which it won't win. Just because it's not that big, unfortunately. But it's really fun. But this one it's got everything in it. But then we got Doom coming out.
Yeah, Split Fiction.
Split Fiction. Oh, Split Fiction was so good.
I just finished Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it is not game of the year. But it was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty good.
Okay, there you go.
Not bad. But yeah, there we go. Let's keep talking about some of the games coming out, Noah. Oh my goodness. Speaking of games that came out after a long time dormant, Fatal Fury City of Wolves came out. This is a smaller one for most of you guys. Came out Friday, April 24th on Xbox, PS5, and PC. It's a $60 video game, not quite 70, but that's kind of full price still anyway. It's by SNK, the normal developers that make Fatal Fury. This is the first Fatal Fury game in 26 years. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's been a long time for Fatal Fury. And if you're unfamiliar with Fatal Fury, it's Terry from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There you go. Yeah.
There you go. That's good.
And here's the other big news. You can play as Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's cool. So I'm pretty sure people know Ronaldo more than Fatal Fury. So if you're a Ronaldo fan, hey, go try out Fatal Fury. It's got an 80 on Metacritic, so reviewing okay. I'm a big fan of fighting games, but I never really got into Fatal Fury. It's one of those series that's just always on sale for all those old games. It's always got some bundle that's like $5 or something on like GOG or something like that. So but I never really checked it out. Like I said, most people are only going to know Fatal Fury because of Terry from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with the red hat, and that's it. That's Fatal Fury City Wolves. Check it out if you're a Fatal Fury fan. Good job, guys. All right, that's all for the new releases over the past 2 weeks.
I wonder if there are any out there,
What? Any Fatal Fury fans? They're out there somewhere.
After 26 years?
I mean, Ronaldo's in the game, so somebody...
That's true.
He's pretty mainstream, so somebody likes it. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of things that people like, Titanfall 3 is something we really like, but unfortunately it is probably never going to happen now because Respawn has announced some layoffs. 100 employees are being affected by these new layoffs. They announced that 2 unknown projects have been canceled. One of those is most likely Titanfall 3 is what we're hearing. The quote here is, targeted team adjustments across Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi. So basically, the interpretation here is they're going to be focusing on those 2 things from now on, basically, which is a shame. They got some good titles. Really would have loved to see Titanfall 3, but I think it's kind of a big ask. I think it always was a big ask, I don't know.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. I have takes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's EA.
Yeah, that's true.
Multi-billion-dollar company. Okay.
Yeah.
They are laid off 100 members of Respawn, just of Respawn.
Yeah.
Some of those were people also already working on Apex. I know this because I follow them on Twitter. The lead writer for the newest Legend that just dropped, it just got announced, and they're doing a whole, I'm going to ALGS New Orleans. They're going to be doing a season reveal on Sunday to show the next season dropping on Tuesday, and they're dropping a new Apex Legend for it. The lead writer and designer for that Legend got fired as part of these layoffs. Oh dear. So, this is sweeping.
Yeah.
Also, we did get some information on some of the games that were in development. One of them was Titanfall 3, quote unquote, but it was actually a Titanfall extraction shooter.
Oh.
And you know what? I'm okay with that one not coming out.
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to play an extraction shooter.
You had me in the first half.
Yeah. Not an extraction shooter fan, and it's getting increasingly competitive for some reason. Bungie is dropping it with Marathon.
Yeah, it's become a meme at this point with just how many extraction shooters are coming out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And none of them are really hitting that hard.
Except Tarkov, which is the OG.
There's the one.
Yeah. Hunt Showdown is also kind of popular. They have their own little niche.
For the most part, though, it's Tarkov. It's Tarkov. That's it. So.
And so now we have Marathon that's dropping in September.
Yeah, people don't seem that excited about it.
Yeah, they're doing their closed alpha. It's kind of hitting and missing with some people.
Mixed.
And then we have Arc Raiders. Have you seen this?
I think so. Yeah.
This is from the developers of The Finals. They just dropped another gameplay reveal for it as well. Wow. Yeah, so they've been developing this since last year. I remember seeing an announcement for it back in November or October. They had a whole gameplay reveal. So now they're doing, I believe, another beta for people to come in and play it. And that one looks interesting, I guess, but it's also an extraction shooter, and it's set in basic dystopian fiction. Sorry. It's in America in a Fallout style thing.
Never seen that before.
Or Mad Max style, I guess, but it's set in America. So you're scavengers, and that's what you're extracting with. I'll be honest, looks boring. It does.
Yeah.
Give me, if
you weren't
want
selling me on it, that's for sure.
If you want to give me an extraction shooter that's new and different, give me something that's like Marathon has the right idea where they're going for a very new, different aesthetic.
Yeah.
The problem is they're not really making it hardcore. They're making it accessible, which is fair. That's Bungie's whole MO.
Yeah, but it kind of goes against the genre a little bit.
Exactly. So if I'm Arc Raiders, I'd be like, yeah, we're like, you're looting stuff like Borderlands style. Either you make it like super wacky, or you're doing it in space, or hell, do it in like time travel, medieval type stuff. Like, do something interesting. That's what Hunt Showdown did. I mean, it's in a completely like gothic vampire. It's not in the Siberian wasteland apocalypse that Tarkov's in, because they own that. Nobody's competing on them for that. Arc Raiders looks like it's definitely going to be trying to compete with Tarkov, but it's not nearly as hardcore. I already saw that from the gameplay as well.
Yeah.
It's more hardcore than Marathon.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, Marathon's pretty casual.
Yeah.
It seems like.
So it's just interesting. So yeah, Timefall 3 was going to be an extraction shooter.
Weird.
Dropped that. They were
Okay.
making another Star Wars game. Dropped that.
I heard about the Star Wars one. With the Star Wars shooter, remember?
I can't remember.
I think it was supposed to be a shooter.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. But yeah, so focusing on Apex Legends, of course, and then Star Wars Jedi. Okay, cool. Those are their two moneymakers, I guess, at Respawn. So
It's just a lack of, I guess, risking it. But I guess that's fair because they've seen studios take risks here recently, and it's not paid off for them. And
that's true.
They might be in a low point right now.
Well, and then we also see Claire Obscure sell 1 million in 3 days. So,
and that's a very ambitious project as well.
It is, and it's a good thing for the industry probably to show people that you can take risks and it'll pay off as long as you just care about the art and not the numbers.
Split Fiction arguably is a little bit different from Hazelight Studios. Comparatively, I think they did some of the gameplay stuff in there that's a little bit different. It's a little more tongue-in-cheek, I think. Because what was the last one? It Takes Two. That one was more like definitely centered around fantasy. This one almost ties into like the modern day stuff a little bit more, which can sometimes fall flat in my opinion in media. But I think they hit that line between like sarcastic and like not taking themselves seriously pretty well.
Yeah, in Split Fiction, yeah, it's good stuff. I see what you mean. A lot more trigger work in Split Fiction than in It Takes Two, I'd say. So a little more appealing to people that kind of know what they're doing with the controller just a little bit more in Split Fiction, which is good. I think, it's a good progression of trying to get people into playing video games. So that's fun. All right, we got 2 more little bitty pieces of news here. Ghost of Yotei, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, got a new trailer, and it looked real good. It was a cinematic trailer, and it looked really, really cool. And a release date, which I actually didn't write down, but I think it's October 2nd, but I'll look it up here.
Yeah, it should be this fall.
But yeah, did you play Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh, yeah.
Noah?
Ghost of Tsushima, for sure.
Are you excited for Ghost of Yotei?
Yeah, I think this is going to be real. I love Sucker Punch. They're one of my favorite studios under the PlayStation umbrella.
Yeah.
I would love for them to come back and bring back the Infamous series. That's like one of my... I think that was one of my first PS4 games.
Wow.
Single player that I ever played was Infamous Second Son.
Nice.
Then I went back and played because they like released the originals on like Greatest Hits. So I played those as well. But Sucker Punch has been on a roll. Really loved Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Beautiful world. Really sick gameplay.
Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff there. And Ghost of Yotei looks very, very fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this. It is October 2nd, 2025. Nice. That's the release date that's coming out. I'm really excited for Ghost of Yotei. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima. It was the first game on PS5 that I played.
Okay.
I had the PS4 version and I upgraded to it. It was the first time I ever did that. And man, it was so worth it. Oh my goodness. It was smooth, baby. Oh, wow. Man, that sword play was just... butter. Just so nice. So I was really excited to see this trailer. I'm really excited because I just finished Assassin's Creed Shadows and I'm really excited to play a better samurai game. So I'm really pumped.
What? You didn't like it?
AC Shadows, actually the gameplay is pretty good in AC Shadows, so it'll actually be a pretty good comparison, I think. And the one thing I was concerned about is I use the Kusarigama, the thing with the chain, a lot in AC Shadows, and they announced that that's going to be a weapon in Ghost of Yotei, so I'm like, all right, here we go. Okay. Now we get to see. I had a lot of fun with that weapon in AC Shadows, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for Ghost of Yotei. Here is another game that got announced that is being moved its release date, actually. Borderlands 4.
Yes.
Release date's moved up, is now September 12th instead of September 23rd. here's what people think about this.
Interesting.
Borderlands 4 is owned by Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two Interactive also owns Grand Theft Auto. A lot of people on the internet are thinking that maybe Borderlands 4's release moving up is indicating that GTA 6 is going to maybe come out. Most people are saying early October. So early October, maybe late October, but October is kind of, that's the range we're looking at right here for GTA 6. Nobody knows actually, but that's kind of maybe a hint at the release date. I think it's pretty wild that we haven't had a release date for GTA 6 yet, although I feel like they did this with GTA 5 as well, if I remember correctly. I think this is kind of what they do, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, they kind of don't even need to do marketing.
Yeah, really.
As soon as they drop a release date, people will be like,
that's it. Yeah. Run for the hills.
yeah, so
Good stuff.
interesting. But yeah, Borderlands 4, moving up on release date, I won't complain to that. Not a delay.
Me neither. Yeah, awesome.
Also, I'm a big Borderlands fan.
Yeah,
didn't really like 3.
Yeah, I was a Borderlands 2 fan, so.
So
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
I like the pre-sequel too.
yeah that too.
That
was
one
a good
I enjoyed. This one I just watched. They did a deep dive on PlayStation's most recent state of play, so you can check it out on YouTube to see more gameplay. They also reveal all the Vault Hunters that we're gonna have here in this game. Kind of more of the same in terms of the abilities for the Vault Hunters.
Okay.
So nothing too crazy there, but they're definitely changing up like the weapon system and the loot mechanics, and the way the multiplayer works is really, really interesting. So.
Okay.
They're redoing their lobby system. It's going to be cross-play on release.
Whoa.
Really nice.
Yeah, nice.
And you individually, I don't know how this works, but they said this is how it works. Each individual can choose their campaign difficulty,
Oh.
but you can still play with all like members of your party, and it will adapt accordingly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Don't know.
gonna have to see that.
Because I
in
feel like if you're
practice.
shooting at the same big boss.
Yeah. How does that work?
Don't know. But they said that's
really
how it works.
strange. Like, what you the hard difficulty just sees more enemies and the normal difficulty doesn't? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's crazy.
It threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
but they
that's
said
really
it in the
weird.
deep dive. You can check it out.
Okay. I guess we'll see on September 12th.
September 12th.
Yeah.
I think they're doing another one in June. They're doing another gameplay
Cool.
reveal or something like that. There's something else that
Yeah. Randy Pitchford, the creative director of the game, actually came out and said, no, that's not the reason they moved Borderlands 4 up in release date, but no one believes him. That's
be
pretty
true.
fun.
He said it.
Yeah, exactly, right. I mean, Randy Pitchford's a very animated marketing type guy.
Very eclectic.
Yeah, whatever he says, it's sometimes sarcastic and jokey, so who knows. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes out September 12th. But yeah, that's pretty much all we had. I wanted to give you guys a real quick thing here because it's my last show. And I wanted you guys all to myself. I didn't want to guess. But I just wanted to thank everybody for watching the Gamer Guild podcast and making this dream a reality. I really appreciate it. You know, we did 3 seasons, and I started this because I literally just wanted to do a podcast one day. And that was it.
That's all you need.
I had been listening to a bunch of gaming podcasts, and I disagreed with some of the people, and I said, I think I should probably do this myself if I disagree so much. But AU gave me the opportunity to do a podcast here. Noah helped me out a lot by coming in as a co-host, and like the second or third episode is pretty quick.
Yeah.
I only did
right
like
at the start.
Yeah, I did like one episode, I think, with AB.
Yep.
And then I did one. You were the first guest, and then I did one with AB, and then I think another one maybe, and then I think you were the co-host after that. So yeah, good job, Noah.
Thank you.
Awesome. And guess what? Now he's the esports coordinator at Augusta University.
It's true.
So there you go. You guys get to follow him here still. I'm going to be moving on up the East Coast, doing, I don't know, whatever I'm doing. But yeah, I'm probably going to be streaming, doing some YouTube stuff, and we'll just see where it goes. I'm probably not going to start doing anything real until September because I need to be a stay-at-home dad until then, basically.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really fun.
Priorities.
Yep. Yeah. Can't wait. But yeah. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. And if you guys could do me a favor, since we didn't have a guest this week, I didn't get to ask anyone what their favorite video game was. So if you've never been on the show and you are just dying to tell me what your favorite video game is and why, I want you to comment what your favorite video game is and why. And it'll just make me really happy to read them as I go. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, Noah. Thanks, Jasmine. Thanks, Jackson. He's not here, but thank you, Jackson. We'll see you next time. Until then.
See ya.
The Gamer Guild podcast is recorded at Augusta University's Pamplin TVC and Podcasting Lab. Our producer is Jackson Garner. The Pamplin TVC and Podcasting Lab supervisor is Jasmine Garcia. Music is by Ethan Balducci. The opinions stated are that of the individual and not Augusta University.